Hello, everyone. As we get started here, I want to do my usual quick audio check. We had to make a whole bunch of changes on scenes and stuff this month, so hopefully yours truly got them right. Fingers crossed. So for anybody out there, as soon as that intro video is done, if somebody could give me a quick thumbs up that you can hear me successfully, we'll do that, and then we will get rolling right along here. So I'm checking the chat, which is why you see me looking at the other monitor. Bunch of hellos. Hello, everybody. Tons of familiar faces I see. More, I should say, like familiar names, I should say. I think we're good. Yep. Okay. I can hear it myself. Brandon, Jen. Hello. How's it going? It's been a little while since we've done one of these. How have you been?
So good.
Amazingly awesome.
It's
Been distracting myself with Game Pass games on the weekends.
I mean, thinking back, we had a webcast in September, and then we were supposed to do one in October that got shifted. At least I think that's when maybe we were supposed to do it in October. Anyway, it got shifted, and then we had some problems on the technology side of things with some permissions and whatnot, so we had to cancel what was going to be the December webcast. But here we are, back at it here in January. So for those of you that are out there tuning in, thank you so much for making the time. We are happy to have you with us once again. We have a couple fantastic topics to cover with you today. We will be covering some of especially the visual side of changes on your phone. Melissa will be joining us to cover those things. And then we have the voice access folks who are coming on to present all kinds of goodness. Hopefully, those of you out there that have access to this feature in the dev channel, hopefully you've got this thing flipped on and are kind of poking around with it. If not, it's actually fairly easy to use, which was one of the big design principles that was integrated during the process. It's easy to flip on, easy to flip off. So as we go through some of the content today, either play alongside and kind of, adjust the settings, and hopefully you can use it along the way, or take some notes and, kind of check it out after the fact. But we're going to start with introductions, and then we will kick off the first topic. So as you can see on the screen, if you've watched the webcast before, I'm Jason Howard, Senior Program Manager here on the Windows Insider team. Brandon, would you like to say hello?
Hello. Hi, everyone. What else to say?
It's the prototypical Brandon introduction.
I am Brandon. I'll be in the chat helping moderate and answer questions.
Thank you as always. And Jen, do you want to say hello?
Hi, I'm Jen, the only gentleman at Microsoft. and I help manage the incoming feedback for the Windows Shell services. And you see me around Reddit and Twitter and other stuff along with these two.
Yep. There's one quick editor's note before we get going with the first topic. I do want to give a shout out to Eddie. Eddie, who you've seen on many of the webcasts. Big hearts, absolutely on the same page with you, Jen. Eddie has switched teams within Microsoft. I am super brokenhearted to see him go. I know so many of you out there in the community, whether you were on Twitter, tweeting back and forth, or if you were in the Answers community, Eddie, over the past couple of years, has done a ton of great work. And he did a whole bunch of behind-the-scenes work with Webcast and setting up the scenes and getting stuff mapped and art creative stuff, things that I had to kind of learn on the fly over the past couple weeks. I wish him the absolute best. I know the whole team over here misses him. I know several of you out there in the community, when he made his announcement, were bummed as well. It's definitely a change. It's great working with great people, and I'm going to miss the heck out of them. So, Eddie, if you are tuned in by chance, we appreciate you. Wish you all the best in your new role. And don't forget, come back and say hi. Don't be a stranger. I know we've caught you in chat a few times, but, hopefully you can make some time on your calendar to hang out with us in chat while we do these broadcasts. So, all right. Enough yapping on my end. Let's get going with the show. First up, let me transition and bring Melissa on. There we go. Hello. How in the world are you?
I am good. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you again. I know we had some unexpected scheduling snags at the end of last year and had to postpone. Really appreciate your flexibility. The topic is still timely, however, with some of the changes y'all have made on the Your Phone side of the house. So rather than me sitting here and just carrying on, I'm going to turn the microphone over to you. I know you have some things you want to show, some things you just want to talk through. So by all means, let it rip.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thank you, Jason and Brandon and Jen, for having me today. I'm super excited to talk about the Your Phone app. A brief introduction about me. My name is Melissa. I'm a PM on the Your Phone app team. I've been on the team for right around 3 years now. And so this topic is really special to me because I've seen sort of this visual evolution of the app since I joined it from where it is today. And so I wanted to just really briefly talk to the insiders today about the changes we've made. We're going to take a little trip down memory lane as well. And look at the app over time. And so that's sort of what I'll be sharing and chatting with you guys about. So I'm going to get started and just pop my screen up here.
And while I'm producing and doing all this, I am waiting for that to come through jump from Teams to OBS. It looks like it is. Let me get that transition done, and that should show up for the folks externally in any moment now. I believe we are good to go. So as you are ready.
Super smooth. Awesome. All right. So like I said, I'm going to be talking about the Your Phone app and really focusing on our user experience and the visual evolution of the app. So the way that we've really embraced design over the past couple of years to bring an awesome look and feel and aesthetic to the app and make the experience feel really modern and fresh. And invest in those areas so that we're constantly improving the visuals of the app and making it a better user experience for all of our awesome customers and users. So let's start way back to our roots. So we launched the app with a really bare bones UI, to be honest. You can see here, we really were focused on getting our kind of core functionality out to users, starting to experiment with the things that we can do that bridge the cross-device experience space. And we had this awesome UWP app, and it was really a shell to hold the functionality as we sort of proved that this space was a great opportunity for us to bring functionality to users and kind of that merging of the worlds between using your phone and your PC. And so if anyone on the call was with us when we first launched the app, this might look really familiar. And thank you for staying with us for that long, if that's the case. But this is sort of where we started. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that every app has to start somewhere, and we can only kind of improve and evolve from there. And so next, from a visual perspective, we started to think about how do we add personality to the app. So now we have this functionality. We've bridged a lot of the cross-device experiences like messages and calls and photos, and we really wanted the app itself to feel personal. And I mean, at the end of the day, we're the Your Phone app. And so we want to bring your phone to the PC. And so what we did is started to bring in things like syncing over your personal wallpaper, putting it as the background of the app, bringing over some good indicators like your battery status, and start to really continue to close the gap between what you can access and see on your phone and what you'll see on the app on the PC. Then we evolved even further and started to invest in what I'll call more phone access. So one of the core promises of the Your Phone app is that you can leave your phone in your pocket and you can really stay in context and stay in your flow when you're on your PC, but be able to access those things on your phone when you need them. And so this was actually some of my favorite features to ship. We started to bring in over more status indicators from your phone. So things like your Wi-Fi and your mobile network that you may want easy glanceability to while you're working on your PC, just to make sure that everything is working well and connected. We also started to bring interaction to some of those indicators as well. So being able to control your Bluetooth settings. So let's say your phone's connected to a Bluetooth speaker. You can easily control it from the app itself, not needing to go find your phone and access it from there. Other things like do not disturb. So if you're about to get into a really productive workflow and you just want to shut things off for a little bit from the personal side, we made that super easy to do in the app. And then we also shipped a feature that can sync your audio from your app. So imagine a scenario, and I used to do this all the time when I was going to the office, where I'm listening to music on my phone and it's switching from the Bluetooth to my car to the Bluetooth on my PC, and being able to just completely access the player of that Bluetooth or the player of that audio in YP made it super easy when I sat down at my desk. So we brought over a lot of these functions that give you access remotely to your phone. And so that was sort of the way we kept building upon the promise that you can do everything on your phone from the Your Phone app on your PC. And last and definitely not least, Windows 11 gave us a great opportunity to launch a brand new layout, framework, and design for the app. And this is really the big moment I wanted to talk about today, which is we've made a lot of changes to the app, and it's noticeable in here. And I'm listening to many users through our social channels that this new framework is working really well for their productivity. And so not only did we completely realign our visuals to the beauty of the new Windows 11 design language, but we actually moved a couple of things around in the app to flight a new experience that is intended to make you feel more productive and also more in tune with the content on your phone. And I think that this change, as we're experimenting with it and learning about how users are interacting with it, is really resonating because it models after what is organic to users and how they actually use their physical device. So you can see here on the left side, we've created a whole new pane that holds all of your phone info. So all of that great phone access features, but now you can see a feed of your notifications. And this is really like an aggregated list of all the things that you care about. So you don't have to dig around the app to find your missed calls or your missed text messages. It's all in this list now, and it's front and center in the app. So it's super glanceable, easy to just open the app, see what you need to triage or respond to, what you want to save for later, and then get right back into your workflows. And so to mention a little bit about when you can expect to get your hands on this, we're currently flighting this to insiders. We are listening to feedback, so please continue to engage with us on Twitter or through the Windows Insiders channels. Tell us how this new experience is working for you. We will continue to evolve, and we'll continue to listen and not only improve our visuals, but our frameworks and the interaction model of our app. So that's pretty much what I had to talk about today. Thank you for coming along this journey with me. I will leave up here our social channels. So you can contact the Your Phone app on Twitter, and you can also reach out to me personally. I tried to also post when we release new features, big and small, to insiders. So if you'd like to follow me, I try to post so you can be the first to know about the new stuff that's rolling out to insiders. And yeah, thank you again to the Windows Insiders team for having me today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for making the time and being here. I'm hearing an echo of myself.
Echo?
Yeah, hold on. There we go. I think that's better. There we go. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so there's no... Okay, perfect. No desktop audio is coming through right now. All right. It's really funny when we have these little like audio glitches and things like that. It always catches me off guard, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's happening? Melissa, I gotta say, I know this is literally what you just talked about, but I'm gonna put an underscore on this for just a moment. The difference in how the visuals look between the early versions of what your phone looked like within Windows versus that last graphic that you just put up there. Can I just ask you how much design work went into making that change? Because it's not just like, oh, hey, we're just gonna change a couple icons and move something. Like, it doesn't even look the same. I mean, the functionality, the principles of what you're going for, right? You said you're listening to feedback, which I will make the quick point for anybody who's submitting feedback. In the feedback hub, there's the category and the context. The category would be apps. The context would be your phone. There is a specific drop down in feedback hub, super easy to find. So whether you're submitting a problem or a suggestion, that's how you get to it. Just can you fill in a little bit on the design principles, because that was a huge change that y'all implemented, and I gotta say, like, personally, I think it's beautiful. So any insights you can share there?
Yeah, absolutely. It has been quite the evolution, which is why I love using that word in this context, because we really did start with such a simple UI, and from the beginning knew that investing in the design of this app was going to be key to really bringing it to the world that all of our Windows users are used to, which are really good looking and really functionally well designed apps. And so not only that, and we wanted to fit in with our, with all of the apps that are within the ecosystem as well. From a design side, we started incrementally. I think we started to think about what sort of principles would highlight the Your Phone app. And like I said, one of them was the personalization. Like, as we're bringing in your personal content, like, these are the things that you care about most on your phone, your photos, your conversations with your family members. I think there was something that we wanted to underscore there with, this has to feel like yours. It has to feel personal to you. And that's when we started to experiment with putting that design lens on. There's things that we can bring from your phone over to the PC, so those worlds feel like they're working really like coherently together. And so that's why we started with some of those like incremental changes with the wallpaper, bringing in that sort of acrylic background to the navigation pane in the beginning. And then we really just snowballed from there and, had some principles around, well, we have this promise that you can keep your phone put away. So we really need to make sure that everything you want to access on your phone is available in the Your Phone app, so you can stay in context. Because it's all about making you more productive while staying in contact with all of your personal content and the things that you do need to address during the day. And then last, to touch on sort of the overhaul that we did at the end, which made it like really beautiful and brought us into this Windows 11 world. We worked really closely with the Windows 11 design team, making sure that we were following their guidelines and interpreting them correctly, and that we were leveraging all of the work that their design team put into creating a new language around the difference between Windows 10 and Windows 11 design. So they brought in new things like new materials. They brought in things like mica and like these new rounded corners and just things that make it feel more sleek, in my opinion. And we wanted to make sure that we were adopting those into our app. And we'll continue to grow and work with the Windows 11 team as they modernize or change their visuals. But I'm really happy where we've landed right now in terms of not only the functionality that we've brought, but the personalization, and of course, just feeling like a part of the Windows 11 world is super important for our app too.
I want to say you were definitely more than just a little part of the Windows 11 world, and that's one of the fun things about the way the design has changed. Is seeing all the different components kind of come together with this beautiful new look, and when you and I know there's still stuff coming in from insiders, be like, hey, what about this? And these little changes here and there or whatnot. But as all of this comes together, it ends up delivering that experience that the design team and even insiders and folks, in just standard, using retail builds kind of all around the world, like some of that modern and refreshed look that they were going for. And it's awesome to see like teams just internal to Microsoft adopt it so quickly, make those revisions, deliver on the principles and promise of what that is supposed to bring forward for users. I think y'all did an excellent job. There's lots of good comments that are coming in the chat, people appreciating the changes. There's a few things, Jen, Brandon, I don't know if y'all have caught any comments that you wanted to read out. There was one thing that I caught in there of a user was like, hey, you can't pin notifications. And then like 4 messages down, oh wait, yes, you can pin notifications. It was funny seeing that. So I'm not trying to pick on anybody. It's just fun seeing people like actually go in and use the app and mess around with it. And all of a sudden they start learning like, oh, hey, well, this is something that I could have submitted via feedback. Oh, wait, I poked around and found it. There's lots to be said from just taking the time to go and explore a feature to learn more about it. And then that's where the earnest nature of the feedback can come in. Is like, hey, I've used it. I've poked around. I've integrated this into my workflow. Now here's some of the things that I think would help make it better. And then, of course, like we talked about earlier, that feedback process begins, which I know with as big a social presence as y'all have and as much feedback that you take the time to review, like, you're listening to those voices, which of course is, one of the biggest reasons the Insider program exists. So let me take a moment real quick. I'm going to glance over and read through the questions to see if any other things have come in recently. I know there's like the chat's just flying by. It's always super hard to keep up with everything. Pairing connection stability. Yep. Loving the app. Somebody's talking about Jen's cat, which is a staple of the webcast. It's kind of funny. Yeah.
I have to admit, the pictures of the Windows Phone also made me like look at how the UI from Windows 10 to Windows 11 has changed in general. And it's the first thing I notice in any picture anyone shares of their setup. I can't imagine why. I have absolutely no bias in that with regards to what I look at. But
this is a tangent, but every time I see a screenshot, I'm like, where's the taskbar and what icons are on it? Is this 10 or 11? Like, I have to go down that mental distinction. Anyway, Melissa, really appreciate you making the time to join us today. Again, thank you so much for the flexibility you exhibited over the past couple months and bouncing around with us. Thank you for putting together the demo and the walkthrough. I know that y'all will continue making changes into the future. We had the opportunity to have some folks from the Your Phone side of the house, which I think at least one or two of your cohorts are actually in chat answering questions, which is fantastic to see. I love the camaraderie and the team building. It's great. I love it when like the team's there to do the support. But again, the same offer as last time, right? As additional changes come through, as you continue to revise and make updates, and there's anything you want to come announce to the insiders, whether it's in a blog post or something you announce on social, or if you want to come back and be on the webcast again, wink, wink, you are always welcome. We love you having this information and coming and sharing with the audience. So that door is always open.
Awesome. Thank you again for having me.
Absolutely.
It was great.
And if there are any other questions, I'll just tag you in some stuff on Twitter, right? Or I can just ping you on Teams. That's the joy of being internal. All right. Well, topic 1 for today is in the books. Hopefully folks out there appreciated seeing the updates and changes. Again, if you haven't used the Your Phone app, please take the time to go and poke around, see how it integrates with your workflow, give it some love, share some feedback. The team, as you heard, is actively looking at the comments and things that get shared to see where they should take either design or functionality to go next. With that, we will transition into topic 2. My goodness, we're almost halfway through the webcast already. I love it when time flies. I don't know, I enjoy doing these so much. So, again, let me go ahead and bring on the next group of awesome folks who are going to come in and present to you today. Dun, 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 dun. Welcome, Voice Access. How's it going? Woo!
Yay.
Hi, Jason.
Hello. And this is the fun part where I will just as a reminder, I think everybody came off mute, so excellent. I remind folks of the mistakes that I make along the way, just because I don't want to be the goofball, because I'm the guy clicking the buttons back here. So real quick before we get going, because I know there's a couple demo videos we're going to show. We've actually gotten into the video demo business. It's kind of awesome. I had to do some work on the back end to learn that kind of process, but it's always good to expand your skills. So stay in school, y'all. So for the folks that are here to join us, if I could please have you introduce yourselves. I guess what you do here at Microsoft, and just for giggles, like how long you've been with the company. It's always interesting to hear. So Natasha, please go first.
Yeah, so hi everyone, I'm Natasha Rathi, Senior Program Manager here at Microsoft, and I've been with Microsoft for almost a year now.
Excellent. All right, Debbie, you're next.
Yeah. Hi all, my name is Divya Bhaskaran. I'm a program manager working in Microsoft for close to 1.5 years. And we are working on this really cool product, Voice Access, which we are looking forward to showcasing and sharing with all of you.
Excellent. And John.
Hey everyone, I'm John Porter. I am a senior designer on Windows, and I led design on Voice Access, and I've been here for just over 4 years.
Excellent. Well, thank you, each of you, for the quick intros. I'm super excited about this topic, and I will admit, and this is me calling myself out, I have not yet spent enough time poking around on this feature, right? So part of why I'm excited today, not only to share the information to the insider audience, is because I get to get some education to a deeper level than what I currently have. So not only do we get to share externally, I'm getting something out of this too. So kind of a dual benefit here. And then as I go and explore more, I will help take the message even further for y'all. Brandon, can I ask you one quick question, Brandon? This is kind of a sidebar, and I don't mean to put you on the spot here.
Sure.
Do you remember which build number we announced this in when it went live?
I want to say that it was 22518. Okay. I can double check.
Okay. I'm just trying to provide context for folks that are out there in the dev channel, in case folks are always on different builds. So for those of you in the dev channel, check your build number, and if you've got it, take the time to pop it open while we're going through this content together. It's definitely worth exploring. Yeah,
Voice Access was introduced in build 22518.
Perfect. There was no way I was going to remember that. Let me be very clear about that. I don't have the ability to keep up with all the content and build numbers like Brandon does. That's the joy of all the comms work that he does, and that missing Eddie that he would contribute to, that Jen contributes to. There's a lot of folks behind the scenes that make this stuff happen. But anyway, so without further ado, let's get on the show. Let's get the show on the road here. So. First piece of content. Do you want to roll a demo video first, or do you want to do some intro about the feature? I think you should do some intro about the feature, so I will just hand the microphone over to you and let you go.
Thank you, Jason. So hey everyone again, and we're really glad to be here to share Voice Access with you. So before we dive into Voice Access, I want to root our conversation today on who we are as a team and why we do things that we do. It all starts with our company's mission. Empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. When we say every person, at Microsoft, we really mean it. And for us to achieve our lofty goal, that means that we need to reach the billion+ people living with disabilities today. For us in Windows, this means that we need to think inclusively and we need to find innovative solutions that are designed for each of us. Because when we solve for each of us, we can have a Windows that empowers all of us. We are really excited to share that in Windows 11, our team delivered the most inclusively designed version of Windows. We did this by leading with inclusive design reviews, where our team worked closely with people with disabilities to deliver our aspiration to create efficient, fun, and delightful experiences for people with disabilities and without. As we continue in our journey of creating experiences that are inclusively designed and that empower people with disabilities and without, we wanted to share a new technology that we are bringing to Windows, Voice Access. Voice Access is a new experience that enables people with limited mobility, or frankly everyone, to use their PC with just voice. It can be used to open and switch apps, browse the web, as well as read and author text using voice. And it is already available in Insider's Flight, as Jason and Brandon mentioned. All right, moving ahead. Today, we want to show you some of the things you can do with Voice Access, and hopefully we will get you excited enough to test it out in the Insider's build. We will start by setting up Voice Access for the first use, and let's start by sharing the screen. Jason, can you let me know when the screen is visible to everyone?
Yes, indeed. Just one moment. Screen transition. 3, 2, 1. You are good to go.
Awesome. So the easiest way to find voice access is on the Settings app. Go to Settings. Well, go to Accessibility after that. Scroll down to Interaction and select Speech. Here you will find voice access as the first option. Just turn it on. The first time setup for voice access consists of three main steps. First, you will see a voice access UI show up at the top of the screen with a tip prompting you to download a speech model. Just go ahead and click on download. I am going to do that now, and this may take a few seconds. Downloading this model actually enables you to use voice access even without internet. For example, if you want to use voice access to switch to a different Wi-Fi network. And it's done. So we see that the download has completed. So the second step is to choose the microphone you want to use with voice access. If you have multiple microphones connected, these will show here in that case. In this case, I only have one, so let's just click next. And that's it. You're all set to try voice access. But wait a minute. Didn't I say we had 3 steps? Well, the third step is optional, depending on how comfortable you are with the features like voice access. However, if you're new to voice access, then you should start the interactive guides and get familiar with the basic voice commands. Here you will see the list of instructions on the left and a practice area on the right. You will learn how to interact with items on your screen, how to move the mouse with voice, and how to enter text using dictation. We highly recommend you to go through this guide. So there are multiple options which you can try out on the guide. And we end the guide with the list of all voice access commands. Do leave a comment in case you have already tried the guide and let us know what you liked and what we can teach you more. All right, so that's how you set up voice access. Next, I'll cover the voice access UI that you see on top of the screen. So it has 5 main elements. The first one on the left side, you see a microphone button which helps you control the state of the microphone. It can be changed to off, sleep, or active states using different voice commands. By default, this is in sleep state, which means voice access will only respond to its wake up command. Once you wake it up by saying voice access wake up, it will start recognizing and responding to what you speak. Well, the other thing that we heard while designing voice access was the need to know if their voice was being recognized correctly. So the second element here to the right of the microphone shows you the text that is being recognized in real time by voice access as you speak. The third element, which is also a text block, shows feedback messages in response to your command. You will either see confirmation message once an action is performed successfully or message indicating error if this action is unsuccessful. With these 2 feedback elements, you will know where to see in case something doesn't work as you expected it to. On the extreme right, you will see 2 options, which brings us to the 4th and 5th element. The first is the settings menu, where you can go to change the microphone you want to use with voice access and find other related settings. The last one is the help menu, where you can find a list of commands supported by voice access, the interactive guide, and a few more options to find online documentation and give feedback. Awesome, you're all set to use voice access now. So now let's jump to the exciting bit where we will demo how voice access can be used for different scenarios, which we find doing ourselves often, like interaction with apps or browsing the web and even authoring. I will hand over to Divya for the demos. Divya, over to you.
Thanks, Nitisha. All right. Hello all. We are most excited to share a few demos of voice access with all of you. For these demos, we have picked scenarios which we find ourselves doing more often than not, and we will try to showcase them and how you can power through them using voice. Let's get started. So assume that you had a really long, tiring day, and right now you just want to unwind. Completely relatable, right? A movie sounds like the perfect option, and you're thinking about looking up the latest arrivals on Netflix. Let's see how we can do just that with voice access. Jason, can I request you to pull up the first demo, please?
Absolutely, I am doing that right now. And it looks like I have it queued. I will hit play and let that run through, and I will let you know when it is finished. So give me just a moment.
Unmute. Switch to Edge. Maximize window. As you just saw, we were able to switch to an already open instance of Edge and were able to use commands like maximize to resize our Edge window. Open new tab. Netflix. Press enter. You can seamlessly switch between entering text and issuing voice commands as seen here in the search bar when we entered Netflix and issued the command to press the enter key. Click Netflix. To click on the very first link, I issued the command click Netflix. But as you can see, there are number labels displayed in multiple places which contain the word Netflix. This is how voice access deals with any ambiguity. In cases of multiple matches to a command, we will mark all possible matches with numbers and wait for you to confirm which exact result you want to click on. 2. Shown numbers here. I now want to click on the button on the top right corner of the screen. But here's the problem. I don't know what it is called to issue a command. In such scenarios, I would use number overlays. With number overlays, each on-screen item that you want to interact with has a number label on it, and you can interact with the item using the number corresponding to it. So now I will go ahead and use the number next to the bell button to click on it. 29. Click New Arrival. Click.
Excellent, and we are back. That demo is finished.
Awesome. So as you have just seen, with simple and intuitive commands, you can navigate your PC and interact with on-screen elements, either by name or by using number overlays. At any point in time, should there be multiple matches to a given command, voice access still allows you to have control by presenting you a subset of choices to choose from. In addition, we have quick commands for opening and interacting with apps to help you feel more productive. All right, let's move ahead to the next set of features we'd like to share. Now, assume you're done with your movie and you just remembered you had this email that you had to get back to. It's a friend. This friend has been awaiting a response for quite some time, and you do not want to procrastinate on it any longer. But you would like to do it immediately and you would like to do it quick. So here again, with voice access, we have you covered. Let's see now how you can power through this pending task with voice access. So Jason, can I request you to play the second video, please?
Absolutely, but I feel personally seen about that whole not responding to emails thing. Like, did you make this demo because of me? Like, I feel like my inbox. Let's not talk about the size of my work inbox. Let me get that demo queued up. And I apologize for the echo in the first one. That was an extra click on my part. I've got it worked out, and so we should be good for this second one. I will start rolling that right now.
Voice access wake up. Open mail. Click new mail. John. Press spacebar. Press enter. Click subject. Holiday memories. Capitalize that. With voice access, the word that appears in several of our text interaction commands as a shorthand way of referring to the most recent chunk of dictated text. So here, We had already dictated holiday memories before realizing we wanted it capitalized. Rather than having to delete it and redictate the capitalized version, we can just say capitalize that to tell voice access to go back and capitalize those words. Press tab. Hey John, comma. New line. I was just remembering what a lovely time we had during our holiday. Full stop. It was so much fun! Exclamation point. Sending you the best click from that time. Full stop. I hope we can do this again this year and hope to meet Jason and Tridev. Occasionally, you might encounter a word or a name that gets misrecognized, like what just happened here when I was trying to dictate the name Tridev. To correct that spelling, you can invoke the touch keyboard as a quick way to type out words or names that we don't catch. Let's see how that works. As a first step, let's delete the incorrect word and then invoke the touch keyboard. Delete that. Show keyboard. 6, 19, 4, 12, 5. As you noticed, as I was typing out the first few letters of the name Tridev, I see the complete name come up in the suggestions of the touch keyboard. I now plan to use the overlay corresponding to that. While I am at it, let me also add an emoji into my email to complete it. 51, 51. Hide keyboard. New paragraph. With lots of love. New line. Nidhi. Oh, I almost forgot. I was supposed to add an image from my system to the email, so let's get around to doing that. Open File Explorer. Double-click Pictures. 2. Show grid here. 5. 1. You know there will be situations where you need to move the mouse to a precise location on the screen, and this is where you can use the grid overlay. The grid overlay allows you to move the mouse anywhere on the screen by using the grid number as a reference. In addition to this, we can also perform gestures like drag and drop, as we will demonstrate here by dragging a picture into our email. First, we will mark the point to start the drag, which is the picture to be dragged, and then drop it in the new location, which in this case is the email that we are composing. Mark 7. 9. Drag. Close window. Click send.
All right, helps if I come off mute myself. Oh, the joy of production. The video demo has finished, and we are back at it, and you are all back on screen, so thank you for that.
All right. Yes. So that concludes our demo segment. So as you have just seen, voice access enables you to easily navigate and interact with your PC and work with apps. In addition, it also offers rich dictation capabilities where you can dictate, select, edit, and navigate text. So there is this one big question where when we have so many commands which do so many things, what would you do if you're unsure of what commands to use or you feel stuck? So the answer to that is a handy command help list, which can be accessed either via a voice command, which is what can I say, or you could go to the help flyout on voice access UI and access it. This will help you access commands easily, go through all the commands that you would need to get through voice access and feel unblocked in general. Okay, so now I would like to hand it over to John, who's going to talk about our unique design process, which we have used to build the voice access experience. Over to you, John.
All right, thanks, Divya. So, we've talked a bit today now about what voice access is, how it works, and what you can do with it. But we also want to take a moment to talk about the journey of how we got here. Because on the Windows accessibility team, we strongly believe that how we make is just as important as what we make. There's a saying from the disability community which deeply resonates with us and which we aspire to live up to with our own work. Nothing about us without us. It speaks to the fact that people with disabilities are the ultimate experts on their own needs and lived experiences. A big part of our job is the recognition that they, as the real experts, need to have a seat at the table of design, not just as customers, not just as research subjects, but as active participants in the making of solutions that are intended to benefit them. And so to deliver on that, we had to move beyond traditional customer engagement methods, things like interviews, focus groups, or usability studies, although we still do all of those things. What we did to move beyond was bring in a contingent of subject matter experts to join us on our design journey. These experts are predominantly customers with mobility disabilities, but we also work with other key secondary stakeholders, people like parents of children with disabilities or occupational therapists. And we've been able to take this cohort of experts and bring them deeper into our process than would otherwise be possible. In this way, we've been really fortunate to make voice access the product of a participatory and co-creative process. And personally, that's one of the things that I take the most pride in about this work, because it's such a clear demonstration of the way that Microsoft and Windows is committed to building our products. So on that note, we'd want to take a moment to thank all of you who have been using voice access already since the Insider's release and sharing all kinds of fantastic feedback with us. We've heard you loud and clear on things like wanting to be able to reposition or minimize the UI, being able to ignore filler words within commands, or wanting to be able to pin voice access to the taskbar. And just to note, that last bit is now actually available in the latest Insider build. We want to assure everyone here that we are listening, and your feedback is super important to us. So keep it coming. Continue to share your feedback, and for those of you that haven't tried voice access yet, we really hope that you'll give it a go and let us know what you think. You can access the Feedback Hub directly through the voice access UI to make it quick and seamless to share your thoughts. So that pretty much wraps it up for us today. I want to thank you all for spending some time with us. And let's go ahead and open it up if there are any questions.
Excellent. Let me take a moment for all three of you that have chatted, presented, shared information on behalf of voice access. I don't want to sit here and repeat what each of you have said and what John just mentioned, but it literally cannot be overstated how important this work is, and the actual real world life-changing impact that each of you is having with these features that you're delivering to people all across the planet. It's just, I don't know. I don't have the right words, and I don't want to undercut anything that was just said. So I will just simply say, on behalf of everybody that's listening today and everybody that'll see this in the future, thank you. I'm really glad that y'all are putting the effort into representing the community, to making life easier for people to do the things that are important to them. And as John mentioned, at the outset of what he said, we're building this for every person and every organization around the planet. And that literally means every. Like, you cannot leave that word out and keep the same meaning and intent behind what that sentence actually states. Anyway, let me, sorry, I apologize. It's just like, I love seeing stuff like this, just the impact and, the insiders giving feedback, the listening that happens, the work that y'all have done, and what this contributes to the community. Thanks. So questions. I know that there have been a few that popped in.
Yeah, there's one that I think we should get to. That's actually a really good one.
Brandon, take it away.
Yeah, our good friend Raphael asked this question about the voice model, and it's downloaded. How does it get updated and serviced over time? If there's anything we could talk about there.
Yeah. So the updates would be made automatically to the model, but it would respect if there are any settings or privacy settings that the user has done. So by respecting those settings, along with that, the model would get automatically updated.
And is that done through just Windows Update regularly, or like?
Yeah. So the model is hosted on Windows Store, and that is how it will get updated.
Okay, excellent.
I love it when the store gets used to do updates, because it makes it so much quicker. Like, those updates can come out in rapid fire succession without the need to wait a week for potentially another insider build, or a next major release version of something that's going out to the broader globe outside of the insider community. That's always fun to see. Let's see here. Other questions, Brandon, Jen. Let's see here. I will say this, and I don't normally address these types of comments, but I will say this. Like, there was a comment that popped up about the varying browsers that were shown in the desktop. We literally have to build these features and products for the entire world, and there are lots of apps that get included in this testing process. We can't just focus on those which we may tend to prefer internally. We're literally building this for the community all around the world, and not everybody fits into one box. And that's the importance of seeing the variety of apps and things that you will see in some of these demos. So I think it's always a good reminder for that, is that we are building an inclusive product from the get-go, rather than it being an afterthought where we have to go back and make changes.
So I have a question that someone actually asked me on Reddit when we first announced the feature, which was that I don't remember when it was created, but we had the Windows speech recognition, which was sort of been around for a long time, very basic compared to what voice access can do. Do you think of voice access as the evolution of that?
Windows speech recognition has been there for some time. Voice access is something that we've built on the latest technology. We are trying to solve problems of people with limited mobility, and like we said, everyone can be more productive by using voice. Yeah.
If I can, this is a personal question, right? Hopefully this isn't too far out of left field. But as was noted, as folks saw in the demo videos that were played earlier, the numbering concept. So, like the Netflix video, right? When it was like, click Netflix. And there was 3 different things on the screen that number one, all three of them are recognized, which is just crazy. Like, I can't even imagine like what it takes behind the scenes to recognize each of the elements on the page, understand them, and be able to identify them. Like, that's half of it. But then, to properly display the numbers with the bubble so that, you can use your voice to say, click 1, click 2, click 3, whatever the scenario is. The numbered bubbles, like, I find it to be fascinating and so simple. Like, I'm not saying the execution was simple. Let me be clear. But the principle of it makes it so easy. Can I ask who came up with that idea or where the idea came from? Because, put simply, it's brilliant. Like, I love it. And I don't know. It's things like that I find fascinating.
So I should speak to that. So yeah, the numbering overlay concept was something that we landed on pretty early on in our design process. It builds on some established patterns that customers may be used to coming from other voice solutions. Windows speech recognition back in the day had a similar interaction model, although a lot of the feedback at the time was that it was very clunky and heavy. It occluded a lot of the UI. And so our goal with our numbering paradigm here was to leverage the consistency and predictability that mode of interaction can offer, but then from a visual perspective, present it in a way that really felt first class and naturally integrated into the operating system, rather than something that felt like a bolted-on feature. It's why we, took steps to make sure that it's not occluding the UI underneath, and having even the color palette respect whether the user is on dark or light theme, and their own personal accent color. A lot of those fine details went into making sure that without compromising any of the usability, it felt like a natural expression of Windows 11.
And if I can add to that, I think also there was this very specific use case where we didn't want our users to feel pressurized into saying the complete name of any control or UI element to interact with it. So in the case of Netflix, what that helped is the user can still use partial names. And what we will do from voice access side is if we find a bunch of multiple matches, we will present it back to the user to help them feel like they have better control over it. So it just helps also from that interaction paradigm of letting users have the flexibility of how they want to address and interact with their PCs.
Wow. So not only does it make it easier for them to actually do the interaction, it gives them some speed in the interaction by cutting down on the things they may need to say or how quickly they can identify on what it is they're actually trying to accomplish along the way. There's just so many layers to this onion, and the amount of thinking that went into this work to deliver this feature. I can't do anything but repeatedly say that I am so impressed, and I am why I realize that I may not be the prototypical customer of this feature set. I now have a duty to use it more than I have, because I don't know, I want to be another voice that helps, provide insights into the product. So to all the insiders out there, right? Hopefully this has been educational. You can see how easy it is to turn the feature on and then begin the interaction process. There's the quick process of getting set up. There were the commands to learn what you can say and how to interact. The video of this webcast obviously will be made available here on YouTube after the fact. So if you have any questions along the way, you can go back and rewatch the videos to learn some of the commands, to get those things. And then of course, anything you have along the way, please do provide that feedback. I was gonna say that we are.
If someone does have feedback, if they're in the dev channel, correct me if I'm wrong, it should be filed under accessibility and then the voice access context in the feedback hub.
That's correct. Yes.
And I assume the call to action is please, please, please try voice access on your apps, your setup. And when you're filing feedback, be really specific about what you tried and what didn't work for you, so that the team can try it itself and continue improving voice access based on your feedback. So I gotta slip that.
No, it's good. I did it with your phone. I had not done it yet with this, so thank you for highlighting the area in Feedback Hub. That's always an important tidbit. It's better than just say go file feedback. Well, where? Now folks know. I will say this, right? Both to all three of you who have taken the time to come in and share on behalf of Voice Access, as well as other teammates that I know were in the chat live answering questions and guiding folks in that aspect. To you and to the whole team, thank you so much for this. Not only for the hard work that you've put into this feature, but for making the time to come and share this. Hopefully you get some of the feedback that you're looking for. I've always loved seeing adoption of features so that, as we continue into the future, we can continue to make it better along the way. And I do know we're a few minutes over past the top of the hour. So I want to be respectful of your time because although these webcasts are super fun, right? There is work to go get done. So I don't want to keep y'all up any later. Because with the, as Microsoft is a global company and there are folks literally around the globe presenting today, I don't want to keep y'all from staying up too late. So in respect of your time, I will say once again, thank you so much. Thank you so very kindly. Really appreciate it. And to the insiders out there who have tuned in today, thanks. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. Two great features that we've covered. Obviously, we've released several builds this year. There's definitely more to come. So hit us up on Twitter, twitter.com/Windows Insider. There's always answers.microsoft.com, and there's the Windows Insider subforum. And if you want to reach out to any of us, please do so. We're happy to connect with you, to answer questions, to help track some of the feedback that you have. But we will wrap here. Really appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us. And if you're watching this after the fact, please, if you have any other questions that did not get answered today, please reach out to us either in the Feedback Hub or on social, and we will get those addressed. So with that, we will wrap up. I really appreciate everybody's time. And until next time, stay tuned for more information. Stay tuned for those flights, and we'll be back soon.